Not much to look at. It is 6 o'clock in the morning, 33 degrees, heading out for a scouting trip here, going up into the great high mountains of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. So not much to see sitting here in the driveway. I'm gonna stop the camera and let's head up into the mountains and see what it looks like there when the sun's starting to come up. We've got about an hour and a half drive until we get to our parking spot, and we'll see how much snow we've got to deal with. Okay, we're back again just for a quick chat. Sorry if the video's a little unsteady. I am driving right now, and yes, I probably shouldn't be holding my phone, but I just thought it was interesting. You know, we're starting to pick up a little bit of snow on the side of the road here. It is actually warmer. I don't know if this will come through, but the thing is saying 41 degrees right now, but we're up in the mountains and it's colder overnight. This is morning and it does get warmer in the morning. So this is not the normal overnight temperature that we're seeing here, even though it is only the lovely hour of 6:40 in the morning. So we are starting to pick up some snow on the side of the road. The only reason I'm bringing this up, I mean, this is not really enough snow to really be all that interesting, but the only reason I bring this up is that I do actually have two plans today. I'm going to around 11,000 feet. Starting down in the valley, I was at around 5,500. So for all you folks in meters, divide by around 3, maybe 3.2, and you're going to get anywhere from going from 2 to 4,500 meters up, which is quite a rise. And the reason that's important is that the higher you get, the more snow you get. And I made two plans. I didn't really have a lot of good information about what I'd be getting into once I got to the peaks. The peaks of mountains are where snow stays. And so, it's one of those things where, you need to have a little bit of flexibility here. It's still very early in the season. It's not quite December. It's just past Thanksgiving. And I'm not expecting to run into any trouble. But, you gotta have some backup plans. So I have two destinations in mind. One is higher than the other. And so if it turns out that my higher destination is snowed in, or if, as the weather report is predicting, we have a winter storm warning in effect right now, and that means I could be seeing some snow during the day today. You can see as I'm coming around the corner here, I'm just starting to pick up some cloud cover. Really pretty wispy, not much to speak of, but I am keeping my eye on the weather. I'm not really worried about it. Got plenty of safety gear. I got probably 3 days worth of supplies for a one-day hike with no overnights, so I'm not really worried about, getting myself into trouble. I've been a skier all my life. I know how to handle myself in snow, so I'm not really worried about that. But, people die in mountains off on their lonesies. So I will be, taking some precautions here and making sure I don't get myself into trouble, have some backup plans, and we'll see what it looks like when I get up there. Talk to you then. Okay, so we got some good news and some bad news. Good news is, on the way up here, I saw one of the things we were looking to see and managed to mark the spot on the GPS. About a 3 or 4 year old buck crossed the road right in front of me. And that's always a good sign. I marked his spot. It was on the road, but it was near a state forest, so I might be able to come back in a future year and see if I can scout out for him. Bad news is, here comes the weather, and just like that, we were looking at clear skies. Remember that winter storm warning? I'm only 20 minutes further up the road, and here is that snow. Now, I'm going to keep going. I don't mind a little bit of snow. As I said, I'm a skier. I've been through this before. This doesn't really worry me safety-wise. The problem is that, if we get any significant amount of snow, I'm up here to scout. As much as a quarter to a half an inch is all it really takes to cover up the sign that I'm looking for. So, even if I get myself familiar with the territory, which is goal number 1, goal number 2 is to look for sign. And if this stuff starts accumulating here, that's going to really put a damper on my trip. Now, what's interesting is we're in the cloud. If you look up to the left, that's blue sky up there. So I'm going to keep going up the road here, kind of see what I can see if I at least have a parking area. Hello, cows. But I may have to go to plan B if this stuff keeps up, because we're just, a dusting on the road here, but it's only been going for about... And just that fast, we've hit our decision point. I'm only another 10 minutes up the road and there's already a 1/4 inch of snow on the ground. It's coming down pretty hard, and I'm not looking pretty good here. You know, if I look out the window, I don't know if you can get a sense of it. I could hike in this. You know, the snow is not, you know, a disaster to hike in. It's actually kind of pleasant. It's very quiet and very peaceful. As long as you have good insulated boots, which I have, waterproof boots, and, you know, plenty of toe warmers and hand warmers, which I've got, hiking in snow can actually be a little pleasant. The problem is, again, I'm on a scouting mission and I'm looking for sign. Sign basically means poop, and if it gets covered up, as it's getting right now, you can't see it, and I'm not going to go digging every 3 feet looking for it. It's got to be pretty fresh, and it's got to be pretty obvious. So, you know, it's the kind of thing you want to see walking along, and I'm just not going to be able to see it here. So I've hit my decision point. I'm going to be turning around next chance I get. There aren't a lot of pullovers on this road, but I will find the next one, get myself turned around, and you know, we'll go to plan B here. You know, it's unfortunate. I was really looking forward to this destination. This was one of the nicer spots I had hoped to go to, but that's how things go. So that's why you have a plan B, and we're going to it now. Okay, so I have come an hour back east, and I am now entering the central portion of Pike National Forest. And it's interesting, I haven't seen another car for about an hour. I've been on some side roads, and it is pretty crappy weather. It's alternating between rain and snow, and so there aren't a lot of people out, but it's one of those things, you know, you're in the middle of the wilderness, you're in the middle of nowhere, you are not always alone. If you look very carefully, you can see some very clear tracks here. These are not old tracks. It's snowing right now. These are fresh, so I am following somebody up this mountain. Somebody has been here just recently before me, and I would say in the last 5 or 10 minutes, just based on the fact that it's only recently started snowing over here, and these look like pretty fresh tracks. So let's go up here and see what we got. We're almost at our destination. Hopefully I can find a spot to park and roam around. The weather's pretty crappy, but I'm gonna give it a go. Welcome back, folks. So it's turning out to be a nice day down here. We're not in the valley, we're in the foothills, but it's a lot lower than where we were originally, and because of that, there's not a lot going on here. As you can see, there was a little bit of snow, so it might be a little tough finding some sign, but I've been tromping around here a little bit and driving back in the truck up, getting ready, so I'm ready to pull out tonight. And you can see it's probably only about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So, you know, if any droppings are fresh, or if I'm up in the woods, I should have, you know, a pretty good chance of seeing at least some things of what I'm looking for here. And it's a beautiful day. There's nobody around. We're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. This is actually kind of a little campsite that I found off in the side of the forest. And we are going to just kind of walk straight into the woods. So we're going up there, and we're going to kind of hike over a little bit of a ridge that I saw on the map, and kind of see what we can see. There is not a lot around here, and not much in the way of trails and things. This is kind of wilderness rather than managed forest. But that's good. That's kind of what we want. You know, we want to be off the beaten path, away from, you know, hunter pressure and things like that. I don't see really much in the way of any other tracks. There is a campfire pit here, so obviously this is a campsite, but nobody else has been here in a little while. So, you know, fingers crossed. Hopefully we find some interesting things to look at, and I'll be back once I have something to say. Oh, one thing, we are straight off the grid here, no cell service, so we're only a couple of miles from civilization, but we're all on our lonesome. So this is it. It's just what we got on our back. Okay, we're off in the woods now. I'm keeping my voice kind of low because I just surprised a buck about 5 seconds ago. Just kind of panning around to give you a sense of the scenery. I'm not hunting today. I'm not really worried about spooking him too much. I wouldn't be back till next season anyway. But, you know, voice is low is kind of the standard. He ran off that way, and that is actually upwind from me. So, if I wanted to, I could try to stalk him. But actually, I found quite a bit of his sign going up the hill I just walked down. which is this hill over here. And that's kind of what they like. They like to make their bedding areas near the top of this kind of hill, work their way down the valley during the day. So, kind of walking around, looking for sign, looking for bedding areas, looking for poop. Not really much else to say other than that. Beautiful day. That storm didn't really catch up with me. It's, making some threats, but not moving in too quickly, so I think I should be fine for a little while. Okay, I'm just adding one more segment here to show you how beautiful it is up here. You know, everything's very peaceful. There's not a lot in the way of signs of humans. There is an ATV trail over to my right, and it appears to get some regular use, but I imagine it's mostly in the summer. I have heard some ATV riders, and I saw a couple off in the distance earlier in the hike, but I was very close to the road. But this is pretty much what it's like. Hopefully you can hear this well over the wind. But it's pretty open. You know, it's a pine forest, not a lot of underbrush. These things do get fires every, 20, 30 years, so that tends to clean them out. And that makes the walking pretty easy. I'm working my way downhill here, and if I slide over to my side here a little bit, hopefully you can see down there in the valley, there is kind of an open area clearing, and I'm hoping to find some more bedding areas. I have actually found a few here on the hill. This is the kind of scraggly stuff that they like, and I'm kind of working my way around here, taking note of what I see, and just keeping my eyes peeled. So there's plenty of mule deer here. I've seen lots and lots of sign. Scared that one buck. Saw 2 other bucks on the drive this morning, so I know they're out and about. And I'm looking forward to next season. Now, this was exactly what I was hoping to find. Just a beautiful open glade. Nice meadow. Lots of visibility, but also lots of cover. I haven't gone down through it yet. I will be. I've got all my clothes washed in scent remover, woodland scent remover, dryer sheet, and boots sprayed, all the rest of that. So I'm not worried about leaving a scent trail. I won't be touching anything with my hands. Won't be dropping any trash. And obviously there's an ATV trail straight through here, and if you can see the snow on the other side, there's fresh tracks, so people have been terracing through here. It's not like the deer don't see any disruption at all. But what I want to do is get down in this grass here, start looking for some crushed down areas, matted down areas, and look for some areas where they might bed down either in the evening or during the day. And the thing I love about a meadow like this is there's so many places you could set up a blind anywhere along the edge if you can find their tracks in and out, which will be a lot easier once there's some snow, or if I can do some more scouting around here. I should be able to find a good place to settle down, and that ATV trail means it's easy in and out. We're pretty far from the road, but we're an easy hike in. So, if I don't want to walk straight through the woods with a heavy pack and a ground blind and everything else, I can follow that trail, and then actually goes out to where I've parked my truck. So, this is the highlight of the day. Sun came out. It's still chilly, but it feels warm. God, what a beautiful sight. So this just goes to show you why you scout. I walked straight through that lovely meadow, and it was lovely. I was a little worried about rattlesnakes, but with snow on the ground, they're not really a problem right now. But otherwise, that would be the place to get bit, I'll tell you. That grass was pretty deep and thick. There wasn't really any seeing where you were putting your foot down. Thing is, I saw 2 of what looked like beds, no poop. And it was pretty clear. So I'm guessing, as lovely as it is, that's not a really common area for them. I have seen plenty of meadows like that where they do bed down, but not that one. So I guess the ATVs are scaring them off. This, on the other hand, which is kind of the top end of it if you were where I was before, looking north or south and around the corner to the right, it's all snow covered here, and no longer lovely. The sun's gone behind the clouds, but Look at what we got. Got a couple of really, really clear sets of tracks going off in two different directions. One up into this set of woods here, and one up going that direction up into that set of woods, which happens to be towards my car, so that's the one I'll be following. They merge down here and then kind of work their way around back over towards that glade, but not all the way into it. It kind of goes up this direction up into these woods. And I saw some disturbed pine needles that looked like tracks up in there when I was walking over here. That's why I walked this way in the first place. So I would say probably what happens is the deer come down, realize how it's not quite a panacea, and end up going a different direction. But we're going to be following this guy out here. It's a little hard to tell from the video quality, but I did trace out and see where the toe versus the heel is, and the deer was walking from there down this direction. So the toe is that way. So we're going to be kind of following where this one might have slept or been the night before. This is relatively fresh snow. It's only been here, a couple of days. So these tracks are not very old. And there's actually a couple of sets of them here. If you look, you can see where they diverge. You can see over here, there's multiple sets being made in too short of a space to really be one deer. There's at least one that went that way and then kind of came back around and rejoined. Who knows, maybe a fawn rejoining mama. But there's at least one more right here as well. Those are too close together. You can see there's 3 right there. And deer just don't walk that way. Look, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're just too close. So I would say there's at least 2 here, one following the other, and then a third. So at least 3 went this way. So I'm thinking maybe mama and a couple of fawns. But we'll wander up this hill and kind of see what we see up there.